Two things. They spelled it right, and I never got a plaque before.
There's a gentleman who not only presents a lot of time and effort towards the Shad Derby Ball, but every Shad Derby function. For the second year in a row, this man has chaired the Shad Derby Committee. He's dedicated an awful lot of himself and his time, and none of this would happen without him. So, Mr. Don Trink. In appreciation, presented to Don Trink for your loyalty and devotion to the Windsor Shad Derby. Thank you.
We're pleased to honor a male student of 20-year time with the Community Involvement Award for his activities and support of the community. And let Mike present the award.
This year's winner is a member of the Windsor Volunteer Fire Department, a student writer for the Coronation, co-director of public relations for the Student Council, member of the Student Council Executive Board and General Assembly. He co-directed Silverfest, is vice president of the senior class. This year's recipient of the Hartford Court Community Involvement Award is Jason Smith. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the 1993 Windsor Shad Derby Queen candidates and their escorts. The final phase of the Queen judging competition takes place this evening, as each candidate is presented to you folks and to the judges. Previously, the essay competition was held, as tradition holds, as each young lady parades the room. Her essay is read. The questions for the essay were selected by Lorraine Ferraro, the consultant for the candidates, placed in envelopes and randomly selected by each candidate who opened her envelope and then quickly had to write an essay, which we will read to you as she goes around the room. Our first contestant is Amy Beth Cirillo.
Hi, my sponsor is Windsor JCs, and my escort for this evening is Joseph Barnoli.
Her question was, in your opinion, why do most people cheat at Monopoly? And she responded, in my opinion, I feel most people cheat at Monopoly because they feel that being able to buy and have all the houses and hotels they can get is a dream that many people know will never come true. In real life, people want so much that they can't cheat to get. In Monopoly, the money sits in front of you within reach. In reality, if you don't have the money for it, you either can't get it or have to save up for it. We all know that plastic pays easily, but where's the money going to come from to pay it off? Money doesn't grow on trees, and in Monopoly it basically does, because it's easy enough to get. Sticking a card up in Monopoly saying collect $50 from each player, it's much easier than paying $1 each week for a quick pick at the store and winning $2. Playing the game Monopoly and the Monopoly of life are two very different things. Monopoly is a game board where you start off with money, and you're able to go back and forth gambling. The Monopoly of life is pretty much having to deal with gambling your life. When you gamble all your money, you gamble away a lot of life's necessities. Money can buy some of life's necessities, but it cannot buy everything you want. Amy Schwartzel.
sponsor is Sally Loader, and my expert for this evening is Jason Garrett.
Maybe you have to comment on the quotation, "It is better to bend than to break." Life would not be complete without the feeling of being under pressure. From what outfit to wear to school or to work, to how we're going to decrease the budget deficit, people are under pressure. In this day and age, we need to be strong to overcome what is thrown at us. In every generation, parents have said that their children will have it easier than they did. Well, not this generation. We're going to need to prepare ourselves against problems such as teenage pregnancy, caring for the baby boomers as they get older, and our country's financial situation. If we as a country do not come together and fight these issues, our world as we know it may not be nearly as pleasant to live in as it is now. If we all gave up and said, oh well, the government can handle it themselves, trouble would not be far beyond. To give up is admitting that these problems cannot be solved. Obviously not all problems have simple solutions. If there's no apparent solution that can be discovered, compromise is always a good one. Our world would not be what it is today if we didn't compromise. Not every problem works out ideally. To be a person that bends and doesn't break over problems that seem impossible proves that the person is strong. It's always easy to give up on a difficult problem, but in the long run, these problems always seem to find a way to come back and haunt you. Denise Michelle Wines.
My sponsor is Ashley's Distinctive Jewelers and Gift. And my escort for this evening is William Evans.
Denise was asked, what will it take to remove fear of violence from the daily lives of average Americans? She said, fear of violence is one that strikes the hearts of all Americans. How we deal with it all is all in how we live our own daily lives. For some, it's not a major concern. They live in the quiet suburbs and are only faced with it on the news. For others, they walk the city streets, fearing for their lives. Violence is a problem that not only Americans face, but also the rest of the world. To understand why there's violence, we must try to understand the ones committing it. Are they hurting? Have they been hurt themselves? Do they feel they're not good enough? Unity is an issue we've all had a hard time solving, but if people don't begin to understand that no one race, color, sex, or culture is better than the next, violence will always be a threat. There are laws against violence, and when an act of violence is committed, the punishment should be upheld. There should be more respect for the laws and for one another to reduce crime, violence, or even just the fear of it. Americans have become too passive. By being submissive, we are only harming ourselves. The laws should become more strict and actually follow through with what they were intended to do. The future of America lies in the hands of us. To sit back and think that someone else's problem is simply being naive. Violence and crime are something that should be talked about with our children, our friends, parents, family, and co-workers. By ignoring it or keeping it quiet, we only make the problem worse. Stacy Ellison.
Sponsor is Windsor African American Civic Association. And for this evening, my escort is Raymond Jr.
Stacy was asked, if you knew that upon death, each of us would be reborn as a random baby somewhere in the world, how would it affect your attitude toward aid to other countries? And she responded, if upon death I knew I would be reborn as a baby somewhere in the world, it would affect my attitude toward aid for other countries in a more caring way. Being the inquisitive person I am, I decided to look up the definition of the word aid. And it said to provide with what is useful in achieving an end. Using this definition, I would devote my time and energy to promote unity amongst mankind. In today's world, everyone spends its time distinguishing the differences we share, instead of exploring how diversity can be an advantage. If we could unite to be one, we could educate each other, respect and understand the cultures we share, so that we would no longer have to place labels on people. Since I could end up in any country, I would be determined to get everyone to see the world's future as I see it. Without unity, lost. Separatism is everywhere. At some colleges, they have an African American Cultural Coalition, Puerto Rican Latin American Coalition, and an Asian American Coalition. Why not have a multicultural coalition? What's the purpose? It would help settle disputes and hatred amongst people and start making people come to the realization that we are all equal. As a young African American woman, I feel I'm faced with day-to-day problems with discrimination, but I'm strong enough to realize all people are faced with these same problems. How can we live as one people in one nation when everywhere we turn in our daily lives, separatism is being promoted? Stacey Warren.
Sponsor is the Windsor House Restaurant, and I ask for this in God's love.
The question Stacey drew was to comment on the following quote: "Hate is a prolonged form of suicide." And she wrote, "There are many children in the world that face many problems. They may have emotional, physical, social problems, or even come from an abusive family. Many children don't even realize they are victims. Many children get put down by the low tolerance of their role model. When this happens, they're not sure how to react, and some consider suicide. Suicide often comes in place when they feel that they are in the way. As they grow older, children like asking curious questions. One might be, why her best friend committed suicide? Explaining to a 12-year-old might not be the easiest thing. Finding counseling and special schooling for these children would lower teen suicide averages in the United States. And as a future teacher of America, I believe that all children should speak out." Amy Raphael.
Good evening. My sponsor is Second Look Hair Salon, and my escort for this evening is Michael Braxton.
Next year, will the folks that do the questions get with the rod and gun club? So we don't have quotes like the one Amy drew, "Only dead fish swim with the stream." And she replied, "Imagine a dead fish lying belly up as it floats down a stream carried by the current. This fish is helpless. It cannot move. It has been drained of all its life. Now think of this fish as a person. Dead fish float down the stream until they reach shallow water. Then they face the world lying on their backs at the surface of the water while they soak in life. Therefore, a dead fish can be compared to a shallow, lazy person. The dead fish of today's world are those who lack creativity and determination. These people simply go along with the flow of life no matter what. They just don't care. On the other hand, the lively, squirmy fish that is every fisherman's dream does quite the opposite. These fish fight the current, the boats, and eager fishermen. Similarly, a lively person is original, creative, and not afraid to be different. These people have a deeper soul and mental capacity as well as more determination. They do not allow themselves to be so easily conquered as do the dead. Likewise, lively active fish are found in deeper waters. They try not to come to the surface for fear of being caught. The active fish in modern society refuse to settle at the surface too. They don't want anything to stand in the path between themselves and their goals. Each day, more and more fish are surfacing. Don't be one of them. Fight the current. Keep on swimming. Megan Bacho. line or a circle, and why? She wrote, after reading this question, the first response triggered within me appealed to my intellectual nature. I was being asked to compare life to a geometric figure. The artist within me said, a line draws boundaries. It creates divinity and separation. The line is unmistakable, strong, but rather unyielding. The circle, on the other hand, is a continuum. Its smooth curves are pleasant to the eye. It represents a force, whole and unbroken. The historian inside me decided to speak up as well. The line represents an obstacle, something that man searches to find the end of, but will never cross during his lifetime. It represents struggles and triumph, but then the circle represents unity. Its shape is complex and mysterious. It leaves many questions unanswered. Well, then the philosopher within addressed the question. If life were a line, it would drag on the never-ending change of emotion or genre. The days would steadily follow one by one, strong and repetitious, but never deviating from the mean. The past would look like the present and the present like the future. If life were a line, people wouldn't be subjected to the trials of a bad day or the joys of a good one. But the circle is the symbol of the eternal optimist, playful mix of sorrow and glee. Good days could be followed by bad ones, and situations would always be subject to change. No matter how bad things got, nothing would ever be permanent. As a whole person, I decided that life is best represented by the circle. Life is all of these ideas, a continuum, a symbol of unity, balance, and mystery. And as a young person, I remind you that life is like a circle because every bad situation is temporary, and the next day is likely to bring joy. Munoz.
My sponsor is JPL Landscaping, and my escort for this evening is Dave Union.
The question Lori Beth randomly selected was, if you could be of a different race for just 1 year, would you do it? Why or why not? And she wrote, to be another race, to venture within the unknown confines of another's culture, to honestly feel what it is like to finally walk free among men or live burdened with prejudice. While I feel it's important to develop a respect and understanding for another person's culture, I do not think that one must change her race to do so. I would not choose to change my race for a year because it's not the skin color that makes me a person, it is attitudes and beliefs. Altering one's melanin is merely scientific. It does not modify the mental makeup of the person. If I changed the color of my skin, perhaps society would change in how they treated me. But would I feel a change? Would my attitudes and beliefs be different? No, they wouldn't. What I believe is that no man, rich or poor, powerful or weak, black or white, is more important than his brother. We're all the same. We're all inhabitants of this planet, and no changing of race can do anything more than what we must do: educate and respect one another. Looking ahead at what the future holds, I see a culturally diverse, ethnically colorful world waiting for me. I understand and appreciate the differences, but nothing can make me fully know what they live. A black man is a black man forever. A white girl merely grows into a white woman. They never change, never become something they're not. My race is not who I am, but what I am. My skin color may change, but my beliefs and attitudes will not. I will still believe that man should love man, no matter who he is or who his father is. When you look at your neighbor, do not think to walk a mile in his shoes. That won't change you. What we must realize is that to fully understand our neighbor, we have to learn to accept and respect one another. Lisa Maynard.
My sponsor is the Windsor Citizen. My escort for this evening is David.
We're also going to have a word with the committee on a question that Lisa drew. Television is democracy at its ugliest. Lisa wrote, a democracy by definition is a political system system in which the supreme power is held and exercised by the people. Therefore, I disagree with the statement that television is democracy at its ugliest. For some time, people have not only played an active role, but also an important role in the media. Not only do we decide upon what is seen on television, but also what day and time. What is and what is not appropriate has been a main issue for many years. However, in today's society, our democratic society, we can come together and make decisions. Of course, people are different in one respect or another, and have their own perspective on life. I look upon television as a halfway point in our society. For some, television is a means of support. For others, it is a companion. The television is one luxury everyone enjoys. That's why I disagree with the comment, television is democracy at its ugliest. Juliet Stryker.
Good evening. My sponsor for this evening is New England Bank and Trust, and my escort is Michael Johnson.
Those of us who remember the first Shad Derby will be interested to hear. If you could suddenly be any age at all, what age would you choose, and what would you hope to see differently? Juliet wrote, 17, I would say with a smile, because like every high school student, there is always one year you wish you could change. My junior year was the hardest. It wasn't the work that was hard, but the way I looked at myself. I was trying to feel more independent, self-assured, and self-motivated, but nothing worked. Things I used to enjoy doing I found to be a chore. At the time, I would ask myself things like, is it me? Have I changed? The answer was yes. I had changed and not realized it. I had grown up, I realized later that year. It wasn't the activities that I was doing, but the reasons for doing them. I was caring too much about what people thought of me and stopped and care what I thought of myself. And that's what's important. It's not who you are in other people's eyes, but who you are in your own eyes that matters. If I were able to go back and do the year over knowing that, I think I would have been able to see the situation differently and enjoy the year more. Unfortunately, it'll never happen. Like many other people, when I think back on that year, the first thing that comes to mind is, if I only were able to do it all differently. Sarah Beth Rothenberg.
My sponsor is Gillette Real Estate Company, and my escort this evening is Chandler Wells.
I should note this question is being forwarded to the Mayor of Windsor, England, before he gets on the plane. Sarah's question was, if you, and only you, knew that there would be nuclear war in 1 week, what would you do? And she wrote, there are so many things that are not said before it's too late. So many things put off until the last minute. If I were to learn there would be a nuclear war in 1 week, I would do the things I've always dreamed of with the people I care about most. Since I'm the only one who knows about the war, I would not create any unnecessary worry in my loved ones' minds. Although I've only experienced 18 years of life, learning about a nuclear war would bring to my attention the groups of wonderful people in my life. With this realization, I would thank each person for their care, their friendship, and love. Learning that you only have 1 week to live creates a certain anxiety to do everything you've ever wanted to do and fast. Among my dream accomplishments would be being a dramatic lead in a famous play, singing to an audience of thousands, having my name in lights, publishing some of my poetry. Of course, these accomplishments would mean nothing without the support and encouragement of my family and friends. Naturally, they would be with me every step of the way. Family and friends are extremely important to me. Learning that nuclear war would occur in a week warned me not to let a single one of them out of my sight. For when the end of the week is near, I want them there for me. More importantly, I want to be able to thank and repay them for all they have given me, for making my life truly complete. Phyllis London.
Good evening. My sponsor is Henry Rowe Veterinary Clinic, and my escort for this evening is Josh Berlin.
Phyllis's question will be forwarded Monday to the town manager and town council. And it was, comment on the following Sigmund Freud quote. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. She wrote, being entirely honest with oneself is a difficult but beneficial exercise. Many people are not entirely truthful with themselves because they're afraid of what they may find. However, if a person looks deep down inside herself, she'll find nothing more than a responsible, confident individual. In today's fast-paced world, it's extremely important to be responsible. But to be fully responsible, a person must be honest with himself. If an individual doesn't trust his or herself, how can others be expected to? The more honesty a person has within, increases the respect people hold for her. If an individual wants to be respected, she must first prove herself responsible. As well as being respected, a person must be respectful of others' opinions. This is a simple task for those who are honest and secure with themselves. Recently, I've examined my friends, my family, and my own life, trying to discover my true self. If I had to analyze the steps I've taken to become the person I am today, much to my surprise, I'm not perfect. I've seen the way I react to my challenging circumstances and have learned how I want to act in the future. I've come to the realization that I'm proud of who I am and what I stand for. I'm a realistic, dedicated individual, and I'll continue to be honest with myself so I can achieve my goals. Being a young woman about to face reality, I must be true to myself, for I'll need to be responsible and confident. With honesty, I will be forced to take responsibility for my actions and be confident in knowing that I will never fail. Robin Boulette.
My sponsor is the Windsor Lions Club, and my escort for the evening is Matthew Shad.
Question Robin drew was, do you believe that children should have the right to be legally emancipated from their parents? And she wrote, the bond between parent and child is a sacred one. The absence of parental affection is devastating for a child. I believe that in cases such as abuse, neglect, or abandonment, emancipation of minors should be able to take place. To a young child, the parent acts as a role model. If the parent is absent, the child may resent him and behave in a way that may be harmful to himself and those around him to get the attention a child may feel he deserves. Coming from a supportive family, the support that I've received in everything I've done has motivated me to be the best that I can be. I know that I will never have to go through anything alone. If abused or neglected children have the opportunity for a healthier, happier life, there's no reason it should be denied. Programs are available, such as foster care or adoption. This would allow these children a second chance at living with people who will support, nurture, and care for them the way they deserve. Everyone deserves a chance to be happy. Emancipation of minors is certainly justified in negative situations. Courtney Colmore.
Good evening. My sponsor is Windsor Kiwanis Club, and my escort for this evening is Sean Chenley.
Courtney was asked to respectfully discuss one mistake God made in creating the human race. And she wrote, when I teach Sunday school class, I tell my students that God has done everything for a reason. I'm not saying that God did everything for a good reason, just for a reason. If God were to look down on the world of the human race, he could see what I see. No one is ever entirely happy. Society complains, argues, and disputes every day, whether it be at home, school, work, or even at social events. We criticize and stereotype each other all the time. We have to come together and unite, if not in this generation, then the following one, and the next, and the next. In our culture, one person may be great and powerful. However, that means other people have to fail and be defeated. Our world has to endure these bad times, perhaps by our inner positive attitudes and reasons. If not for my sake, then how about yours and your family and friends? Let me ask you a question I've been wondering about for a long time. Why can't society say warm, comfortable things about each other? Why can't we see peaceful things on the 6 o'clock news? All we see is violence, racism, and hatred between other countries and among ourselves. We're all human, all the same in so many ways. We should not be discriminated against because of race, color, age, or sex. People will have to come to realize that if we don't stop the discrimination in our society, we will all vanish without even accomplishing friendship, love, and understanding. Amy Rosowskis.
My sponsor is Windsor Federal Savings and Loan, and my escort for this evening is Jason Shad.
Amy's question was, suppose you were given 2 of Cupid's magic arrows and could use them to inspire love. Whom would you shoot? And she wrote, having 2 very powerful arrows and only using them to inspire love in 2 solitary people without helping anyone else defeats the purpose of the chance to help. I would want the 2 arrows to have a ricochet effect on society. So by shooting 2 powerful and influential leaders of the world, the effect is transferred onto his or her actions and the people he or she influences. However, love has 2 very different definitions. In the scope of helping as many people as possible, I choose to think of love at its base as an awareness and respect for human rights. But I'm unwilling to stop there. Love is forgiveness, acceptance, and caring. It's the act of putting others' needs before one's own. There's no reason to inspire love in 2 people when they do not or cannot use the love they have to inspire others to love. I would first shoot one of my magic arrows at President Clinton. With love, he would have a greater acceptance and understanding of our people and ideas that make our country unique. Much is going on in the United States now with minorities, women, homosexuals, and disabled people. When problems arise dealing with money and other material concerns, the new love and understanding President Clinton has acquired would allow him to deal with others more easily and would transfer to them for use in their lives. Saddam Hussein is an impressive military leader in the world community. The whole world watched in anticipation during Desert Storm. The actions of both the U.S. and Saddam influenced world actions. By shooting him with a love arrow, his acceptance and awareness of human life would grow and would prevent him from acts of aggression. He is a leader, and his actions are closely followed. By changing his mode of operating, others would think and might possibly follow. 2 of Cupid's love arrows are certainly a special gift that I will not take lightly. I feel the need to let the power of love infect as many as possible, and through that love incur a new sense of understanding and acceptance in the world. Ladies and your escorts, we thank you. The judges have their task to complete, and then our Price Waterhouse representative, Dave Holden, will tabulate the scores. So we invite all of you to dance or just enjoy the music. And the 5 most famous words of the Coronation Ball, the bar shall remain open. Drinks is written here. Until such time as the judges finish their deliberations and Dave has tabulated the results. So we'll be back once that is done. Thank you all. Once again, candidates for 1993 Shad Derby Queen and their escorts. And we welcome please your 1992 Shad Derby Queen who completes her reign this evening, Kristen Renee Mary.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, judges, and the 1993 Shad Derby Queen contestants. It is a great honor for me to be here again for a second year in a row. One of the best parts about being here this year is that I can relax a little and enjoy the evening. While reflecting back upon the 1992 Shad Derby Coronation Ball and all the events that took place between that night and tonight, I became more aware of how quickly time passes. I can better recognize the underlying meaning of Carpe Diem. Tonight represents both an end and a beginning for me, and because of this, I see many positive and a few negative aspects. Tonight is an ending because in a few minutes, I will no longer reign as the Shad Derby Queen. Although my initial reaction is one of sadness, I'm happy knowing that I will be passing on the crown to another young woman who will be able to partake in the many special events that I did. Running for Shad Derby Queen and then being named as such has been an enriching experience that increased my confidence and self-esteem. I want to thank all the people and volunteer organizations that helped make the Shad Derby Festival a continual and successful part of the Windsor tradition. Windsor has taught me the importance of taking time out of the busy schedule to give of myself and work with others to achieve a common goal of betterment in our society. As an aside, when applying to Wellesley College a year and a half ago, I had to write an essay on their motto that states, "Not to be served, but to serve." This is an easy essay for me to tackle because I have learned just by living in Windsor that one of the best rewards in life is knowing you can be of service to others. Thus, Windsor and its strong academic programs helped me earn acceptance to Wellesley. Tonight is also a beginning. My duties as Queen are coming to an end, and my time has come to move on outside the town of Windsor and take hold of the bigger world that lies beyond. I hope to take with me on this journey of gaining a higher education in a new community what Windsor has so graciously given me. That is a wonderful past to look back upon and a strong sense of the meaning of community spirit. I would like to share this with others so that they too can make a difference in the world. I will miss being the Fish Queen, but I will always remember and cherish my experiences as an active participant of this Windsor traditional event. Thank you.
Kristen returns to her throne where in a few minutes she will hand over the crown of Shad Derby Queen. As we begin our awards presentation, I hope that each of the young ladies that participated in this year's competition has enjoyed the experience and will take from it memories of the competition and the community involvement that will stay with them for the rest of their lives. And with that, we begin the award ceremony. The Community Involvement Award is sponsored by the Windsor Junior Women's Club. It's presented to the girl who has shown outstanding commitment to her community through her school, church, or town activities. She receives a pewter gift and a $300 savings bond. The winner of the Windsor Junior Women's Club Community Involvement Award is Miss Windsor Civitan, Lisa Maynard. The next award is for Miss Congeniality, and to the recipient goes a $350 United States savings bond. This is selected by her peers. And the winner is Miss Windsor Afro-American Citizen. Guys, you want anything else this week? You're fishbowl. These awards are special awards. The ladies that just won them are still eligible for Shad Derby Queen and the 3 Princess Awards. Okay, second, a First Princess, and a Royal Princess, and then Shad Derby Queen. All of the savings bond awards, by the way, are presented by the Hartford Current. And to the Shad Derby Second Princess, a $600 United States savings bond. And our second princess is Miss Kiwanis Club Courtney Colmorgan. The Shad Derby First Princess this year receives a $1,000 savings bond. Hartford Current Redeemable at New England Bank and Trust Company. And the First Princess is, for 1993, Miss Windsor Federal Savings, Amy Elizabeth Rosowskis. The Princess Royal serves as the first descendant of the Shad Derby Queen, and in the event the Queen is unable to fulfill any of her commitments, the Princess Royal will take over the Queen's duties. In that regard, the Princess Royal will receive a $1,500 U.S. savings bond. And this year's Princess Royal is Ms. Artery Chevrolet Megan Bacho. Continuing a tradition begun here in Windsor in 1966, the Shad Derby Queen will be crowned by her predecessor, will receive her flowers, will walk to the attention of the group, and will be seated along with her court. We'll have pictures for the Hartford Current and other feed, and then we will welcome the winner's parents and sponsors to come forward and congratulate her at the other ceremonies. Shad Derby Queen this year receives a United States Savings Bond at the amount of $2,000 and will reign as Shad Derby Queen throughout the festival and for a period of 1 year. Mr. Oldham. The winner is Miss JCLA.
You want to hear those wind instruments, and we hear them. We hear the wind instruments. All right. Kids are doing a great job marching in step. And who's coming up behind? Amy Cirillo from the Windsor JCs. All right, Amy, you're doing wonderful. She's got a nice smile. Here comes Denise Wise from Miss Ashley's Distinctive Jewelry and Gifts. She's doing a great job here today. Maybe Denise is going to look this way. There she is. She's smiling. All right. That was a nice wave over toward us. She's doing a great job here today. Somebody's throwing candy. All right. It's one of the Shad Derby contestants, Juliet Stryker. She's from the New England Bank and Trust Company.
Joe, they just told him not to throw the candy.
All right. You're doing a great job today. You're doing wonderful. She looked sharp with the sunglasses, but she couldn't throw any candy. Here's Amy Raphael. Hi, Amy! Here's Robin Oliette, Miss Windsor Lions Club. She's great. Stacy Warren, Miss Windsor House Restaurant, which is right behind us. We tried to get her to play the toilet toss earlier, but she was a little reluctant. Phyllis London, here she comes. Miss Kennedy Road Veterinarian Clinic. Phyllis! You're doing great! You're doing great! Doing great! It is mosquito weather. A lot of highlights in today's parade. Gillette Real Estate. think that's Lynn and Gillette in the car.
Now that's no, don't cut in front of Corey, honey.
There's Dorothy DeCosto, Dottie, Miss Senior Shad Derby. She's looking great up there and smiling. She got the wave. Charles Chapman's coming up behind. He's the king. He's the king. He's got the American flag there behind him. They're in those sporty cars.
Just look. No, they asked me where you went. I didn't know where you went.
Here's Miss Windsor Civitan. Lisa Maynard. There's Lisa Maynard. She's waving. Oh, we got a big smile and a big wave. She's doing a great job. You're doing fantastic, Lisa. And here comes a float, courtesy of Bill Seelig Ford. Stacy Allison in front, she's Miss Congeniality. Courtney Cole Morgan from the Kiwanis Club, second princess. Amy Elizabeth Wozakowska, first princess. Megan Bacco, Princess Royale, and Laura Beth Muntz was the queen this year. They all look great up there, and it's no doubt it's a hot day up there, and they've met a lot of fans here today. I'm sure they're enjoying it.